Welcome to another episode of the Vlogalog. Joining me once again as my conspirator and fellow Vlogalog person. This is why I like doing scripted productions.
You wouldn't, dude. Our improv has got to get better. It's going to get better.
Joining me for, I'd say once again, but certainly I want to say, also want to say as always, but this is only the second time we've done this. But joining me, Chris LeBrane is going to join me for the first half of the show, and then the second half of the show we're going to go into the interview with my guest, which is this time around Eric Morrison from the Raging Beaver Co. I'm excited about that, so I hope you guys all will be excited and stick around for that portion of the show. Before we cut to our titles here, Chris, can you fill us in on the word of the day? Is that a no?
What is the word of the day? Hold on. If it's the word of the day,
okay. Why don't we cut to our titles, and then maybe you'll fill us in when we come back.
Okay.
Okay.
When it's horrible, bad and wrong. When it's horrible, bad and wrong. When it's horrible, bad and wrong.
Alright. What the fuck is the word of the day?
I just thought I'd put you on the spot and see what you come up with.
Oh man, I was gonna start thinking of something, but I was trying to make sure that there wasn't a word that was constantly used, like on Facebook.
The thing of it is, Chris, we had such a great opening bit.
Oh yeah,
unintentionally on the last episode that I was like, and I suppose if I actually thought about it and tried, we could have come up with something equally as good. But that was the best that I could come up with just off the top of my head, just to make you feel a little awkward and on the spot. But
that worked. It's all good.
So you had a busy day today?
Busy day. It was, quite busy. There's just a lot of bullshit at work. You know how Property Insight can be. So,
not that you want to mention the place by name.
You can just bleep that out.
Okay. What people don't understand, like I did the interview with Eric, and the whole time he's gonna like, I trust you. I trust you to make me look good, and I'm like, dude, I don't edit these. I don't want to edit these. Yeah. I told the only thing I edited in the last episode, and this is a little bit of a behind the scenes thing, because of how we're recording this, it falls out of sync. So probably every 4 or 5 minutes into the video, I made a small cut, and there's a very, very tiny jump cut, probably less than a second, just to resync the audio, and that there's probably 10 to 15 of them throughout the entire episode. That's the only editing that I have any desire to do with this show, just because, can you imagine sitting down and editing 90 minutes worth of footage?
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
Without any intention of really cutting anything out, really, or not. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. So Eric thinks was under the impression I was going to edit, and I guess if anyone's going to be disappointed with his interview, it'll be him.
Or I can't wait to see it now that it's been brought to my attention.
So there's a couple of things I want to make sure we touch on during this first part of the show while I've got you here, and of course we're recording this. I'll make note of this on Tuesday the 21st, which is before the Lucky Duck episode of Webcams and before we post Tube Talking, but by the time we post this video, those videos will already be up. So I want to do a recap of those episodes in this, even though
we haven't,
like with Webcams, it's not actually done yet. But the interesting thing about Webcams, the Lucky Duck episode, and that's part of the segue here, is when you sent me your footage for that, you made a note in your footage, and you said you were doing all your taping on a Sunday, and you had just shot a whole bunch of stuff. What was the entire laundry list of things that you were doing that day?
It was more or less for the Act Naturally video. I finally had enough time and like conjured up enough of an idea to finally get something concrete, because I kind of had half ideas or whatever of what I was going to do in it. So I like this whole back area right here. I cleared all this stuff out, and I put like black sheets on the floor just because, brown carpet's cool, but
notice it.
Yeah, well,
I don't think anybody thinks that brown carpet is cool.
When I say cool, I just mean like, it is what it is.
Right.
But yeah, so I put that down there, and I put my drum set back there, and I did about, I don't know, 5 or 6 different like style shots with that. Then I did the webcams footage. That was the last thing I did. And before that, I did the second part of some footage that we've talked about, but Dating and Insanity. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been taping that in stages. So
where are you with that?
I am halfway done.
Halfway done?
Halfway done. I've done 2 of the parts.
Okay.
So
good.
I just have to do 2 more.
That's going to be like a Krumbine's Brain episode on crack or something.
Word. So like, because I change up the looks for the different characters. So
right.
That's what I was trying to do. So the first one I did before I shaved down, I was like totally scruffy. That was earlier. That was like a month ago.
Right.
And then I did one, Sunday. So those were the 3 things I did. And then I sat down and finished up the stuff for Tube Talking the music.
Something else that people don't fully appreciate, when I shoot Krumbine's Brain, I write everything beforehand. At the end of the week, I write all 3 scripts. And then on Monday, and of course I don't shave it all. Which is, pretty much par for course for me. So so Monday, the first thing I do is I sit down and I shoot all 3 parts of the brain in each episode. So I just go through it, and then after that, I go and shave and clean myself up, and then go through and shoot all of the Krumbine parts of those episodes. So it's actually a very tedious process, and it's kind of starting to wear on me a little bit, actually. But I think the way it rolls out, I'm not sure, even though in my mind it's obvious, hey, shaved, unshaved, shaved, unshaved. I don't think many people realize all of that was done in a matter of hours.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's basically what it was like for me on Sunday, because I wore 3 different things for each one. And
so what I'm saying is, I feel you, man. I feel you.
I feel you. Because I'm finally feeling you, man. Because you've been doing this for so long.
So have you gotten into the editing for Act Naturally at all? This is the music video for Tube Talking.
Yeah, I haven't yet, because you remember yesterday when I emailed you about the .mts.
Oh, right, because you're still.
I went back to him, told him about that, and he was like, "I'll get back to you." He thought he was gonna have to reshoot. I was like, "You don't have to reshoot.
Right, just recapture." Yeah,
recapture it. So he did that today, and he sent me all the footage. He sent me 8 videos. 8 videos, like at 3 minutes each, roughly, and stuff. And
so is that 8 different performances then?
Yeah, there's some of them are close-ups, because I was like, give me some close-ups, give me some, wide shots, and also like, just environmental kind of stuff, just wherever you're at and stuff. So there's a lot of different things, like the camera pans around a lot, so that's good. I just got a lot of footage to work with, so I just have to condense all that down in a 2.5.
Do you think we're gonna see this music video alongside the episode next Monday, or obviously this is already aired, but you think you'll have it done by then?
I definitely plan on having this done by the weekend.
Cool. Because the other thing is going to be that along with the episode, again, most everybody should know this, but if they haven't seen it, Maddie's full extended musical performance in the episode of Tube Talking is available on his channel.
Awesome.
So if you, because I only used about half of it in the episode, so that'll be interesting for them to. I think, you know, like I said, like we were talking about before, you know, that more of a complete experience. You know, we're getting everything together. We'll have the actual episode. We've got the extended musical performance, and then we've got your music video. Question about the music video: is it going to be kind of just a straight music visualization of the musical performance, or is there more of a story to it?
It's more like just like performance based. But I did want to ask you something. Since do you have the footage in my possession? You mind if I use a couple of snippets of Tube Talking in the video?
Absolutely. Because you should.
I always thought of it as a cross promotion.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
So yeah.
So just quickly going back to the webcams recap, there's obviously two things. The footage on my end, editing, where I'm at right now on Tuesday evening, is I've edited all the takes and for all the performances, and I'm assembling the episode right now, and it's going to be mostly done probably tomorrow. But one of the interesting things, the viewers have noticed it. I don't know if you've noticed it. I don't know if you see it when you're recording on your webcam or you just see it here. Your webcam is freezing. Do you notice that at all?
Sometimes.
I bring it up. I just moved to that because it just happened a second ago, and it freezes on just freeze frames while some sort of lag or something. I don't know, but it happens. It was actually happening a lot in your footage.
Oh, really?
So it's something that you recently did. I don't know, with this whole new setup that you have, moving the camera up or something.
I don't think so. I think I may have tried a different setting, as far as how the video is captured. So maybe I need to probably switch it back.
Well, I mean, it looks better. The quality looks better, but there's the freeze frame. So for me, while I'm editing your takes, it's a good thing that you gave me so many takes, because there's a good handful of them. Okay. Every now and then that I can't use at all because it's a frozen frame. So it's a good thing that you do give me as many takes as you do.
I gotta get this computer situation figured out, man.
Something.
Because dude, okay, I'm working on an old computer.
Right.
By today's standard, this computer is old now. It wasn't old a few years ago, but it's a Dell. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna look down for a second because I don't even know the freaking name. It's a Dimension 8250. I think I got it in 2003.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah, but I've reformatted it a whole bunch of times and had new operating systems on it since then. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just I need to get probably more RAM or something, and
a computer that old.
Uh-huh.
You definitely hit the point where it's not worth upgrading it anymore, just because it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And the other thing that you should keep in mind, and you don't know this unless you work with both and you see the differences, I would definitely encourage you to get just a cheap digital video camera. A DV cam that records on tape, not a flash-based one. I mean, if you can afford a flash-based one, a decent one, get that. But something with the flip-out viewfinder, so you can see yourself when you set up your cam, and just record your footage that way. And then, like Maddie is doing, transfer it onto the computer, because you're going to get a much more consistent quality. That's what I do with Krumbine's Brain, and that's what I did with Tube Talking. You get a much higher consistent quality. You don't get the lagginess. You don't get a poor frame rate. You don't get the freeze frames. Sure. You have the extra step of transferring the footage and encoding, but ultimately it's a better deal.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, I just got to figure it out, I guess, for the just webcam front.
Right. Because the thing is, even with the most modern computer ever, and modern high-end webcam, you're still going to deal with frame rate and lagginess, all those same issues, and it's always, pretty much always, still looks like a webcam. So
I do see the camcorder coming in.
Yeah, I think there's definitely always a place for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, tell me about the song. This was a very different song for webcams.
Oh, Luck of the Duck, yes.
I know you did you already write the blog yet?
No, but I will share.
Yes, please.
Luck of the Duck, I don't even know, to be honest, where to begin with this, because I just knew that I wanted to say Luck of the Duck. That's as bare bones as it was, because for some reason that was making me laugh on the inside. I was like, that's funny to me. So I knew I wanted to be different, because I've been doing a lot of songs, like, you know, that were kind of funky or whatever, and that's cool. But I wanted to switch it up, because I always like switching it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I had one kind of chord progression that was working for me, and I was thinking of two other notes to put above it, which is the beginning part before the drums come in.
Right.
And it sounded so eerie. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do this. This will work out well. And it freaked me out a little bit. Like, when I was listening back to it, I was like, that's creepy as hell. I didn't even mean for it to be creepy. But, you know, it worked out with the deep voice and everything. And, you know, like the half-ass gunshot noise and all that shit. But it just basically kind of, you know, recaps a little bit of what happens in the episode and stuff. So
right. And again, like I said, you exhibit such versatility, and this is probably as far out in left field as you've ever gone. It seems to me with the webcams music. So that's it's. I think it. I mean, it almost barely is a song.
Yeah.
kind of in my opinion, but it's. You know, that's probably, I think, one of the most impressive things about it, just how versatile and unexpected it was.
Yes, indeed. I try. And it worked out. I was surprised that it worked out, you know, because I knew it was an odd concept to go off of. And I mean, up until, you know, the point where I started to lay down the vocals, I had no idea if it was going to work out. Yeah. And, you know, once I pitched my voice down and I heard it, I was like, okay, that's hilarious. So I was like, it'll work.
You know, I think fearlessness is a theme this week, because I was having a conversation this weekend about that and about my editing being fearless. Which is ironic to bring that up during this show, because I'm not editing this show at all.
You're fearless.
I'm too scared to edit this show. That would just be a massive undertaking that would almost be redundant, I think. And then, as everyone will see later, I bring it up again with my interview with Eric, and I called his acting fearless. His performances are fearless. And honestly, again, from my perspective, what I'm seeing here is you are fearless in this music creation of yours, because you're willing to go anywhere and do almost anything with it, and you're not even sure what it's going to be or sound like when you're done with when you're going into it. You know, rarely when I do a song do I know what the end result's gonna be. I know what I hear in my head. And, like, the songs either come out close to what I wanted or better, you know? And, of course, there's the inevitable times where it just falls totally flat. But it just seems to, like, you know, just... It works. Once you start, like, laying down one idea, you get another, and then you put them together, and it seems to come forth like with a better concept than what you were even thinking in your head in the first place. So on that note, I mean, I think it works. Good. Yeah. The last point that I wanted to bring up as far as the commentary for Lucky Duck goes was, again, as people will see, and I'll tell you the rest of the story because you only know half of it. We actually finally have 2 pieces of original music in this episode, and I really would like to think that it was our last Vlogalog episode that kind of inspired, in this case, Anna Anna M, who's one of our regular cast members, to put together a song for it. What the part of the story you already know, but nobody else knows, is that the first version, she sent in her MP3, her song, and I was just really excited to see it in the first place, regardless of what it was or the quality or anything. I was just excited because obviously when people contribute, especially in an area that needs contributing, which is not to minimize what you do, but we do have that opening title sequence that always can use an original piece of music, just like the end sequence. So when someone steps up to the plate and does that, boom! I'm so excited. I'm very excited to see it, and I love that she had the courage to do that. What sucked, and this is the part you and I talked about very briefly, very briefly on, was that the final mix that she sent wasn't. It was muddy and it was very hard to understand. And what I was having a hard time with, and what I was kind of trying to bounce that off of you, and maybe you could give me an opinion or an idea or something, is, I want to, obviously I'm very excited and I want to include other people's work wherever I can. It's a collaborative show, so obviously we want to collaborate. But there also has to be a certain level of quality to the show, and I've made this mistake in the past, and I don't necessarily want to make it again, but I don't always know where to draw the line, where to say this is good enough, this is not good enough. And I think it's very easy to look back on some of our past episodes and see, really, why did you use that video or that clip or that performance? There's a couple of performances in there where I was just, I'm going to use it because it's a collaborative show and I want these people to have their moment in the spotlight. And then there's a couple of people who I feel like I kind of have sniped a little bit because I've told them, this is just not, your footage just is not good enough. And when I have other people sending in footage for the same part who are interested in the same part, it's easy to go for quality there. So, I had that conversation with you very briefly, and basically what happened was I just emailed Anna and said, obviously I'm very excited about the song, I want to use it, but it's not the mix. The final product isn't very clear. Is there a way that you can tweak it a little bit and make it, clear it up a little? Is there anything you can do to make it a little bit better, and without changing the song, just cleaning it up a little bit? And she emailed back right away that she could see what she could do with it. And worst case scenario, she thought she could either re-record it or move all of the pieces over to a Mac and do it in GarageBand. So the very next day, she sent me a fixed version of the song, a revised version of the song that just is so much clearer. And obviously, this is going to be the one that I use what I used in the episode. But that's the backstory to it. And
awesome.
I don't know if you have anything to contribute to that. What do you think?
Yeah, I can understand how you feel like, maybe there should be some sort of line when it comes to the quality of, not only video, but also music. I think just, if anybody has any, reservations about that, more or less, just as long as it can be heard. If it's clear enough to be heard, if it doesn't sound muddy, all the highs or the treble is gone or whatever, it should be fine, It's a weird kind of situation because not everybody has the same type of equipment,
Yes.
But, most equipment, even if you're using something as, shall I say it, archaic as a 4-track recorder with a tape, it should be able to be clear enough to be heard anyway. So I don't think that was the case. I think possibly maybe I thought at the time when you played when you shared the song with me that maybe it was just the way she encoded it or whatever to MP3.
Sure, that
like,
which could have been the case.
Yeah, like I thought maybe like her source files were fine, but you know the way she mixed it down may have been errored.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked that she got a good copy in because I when I heard of the song I liked.
Yeah, I mean conceptually and lyrically, it was good. It was just very muddy and hard to understand. Now the few times that I have recorded music or songs rather. And I think it's prevalent also when I'm editing and I have music underneath dialogue. Basically, I always make sure that the music never interferes, never overtakes the lyrics. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what your perspective on that is or how you treat that, but I feel if it's a song, and just a personal opinion, and as far as what I like to hear, if it's a song, if there's lyrics to the music, I want that front and center, so to speak. I mean, I don't know if there's more appropriate terms for that. No, and it's definitely more of an issue. I think it's an issue with songs, but you know when I say editing, it's we'll talk about Tube Talking in a minute, but when music is underneath, I have a hard time with that. When music has to be, I take the music levels down really, really low when it's underneath dialogue because I don't want it interfering with the dialogue at all. So,
no, definitely, I totally feel you on that as well because I mean that's basically what the music in a show like Tube Talking would be for, just like a bed underneath, just something to let you know there is music playing, but that shouldn't be the focal point.
Right.
But no, like when it comes to me like mixing a song that has lyrics or whatever, yeah, lyrics are a primary importance because as much as I spit out rapid fire lyrics at people, I try to mix it in a way where you can try to understand it.
Yeah.
And with the lyrics, that helps out well.
Yes, it does. I mean, that's definitely one of the reasons why I love doing the blogs with you, or having those blogs available for people, because not only do we make the song available for people to download, but there's all the lyrics if you missed any of them. And that was another aspect of with Heaven Bound doing the closed captions.
Yeah.
That was another cool element of the closed captions.
That was very cool.
Paints it black and white so you know exactly what's being said in the song.
Yeah.
So that's that was webcams. Tube Talking is I wanted to recap it during my interview with Eric, but he has only seen the first scene and the previews that I've posted, whereas you've seen all of that. Plus, I put together the full cut of the episode for you to work on with the music. So you are actually the only other person who has seen the full episode, minus the additions of your music. So as of the taping of this video, of course, it's already been out and people have already seen the whole thing. What do you think, Soph? What do you think?
What do I think of the first episode is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Me? I thought it was really good. I was like excited. The only problem I have, and it's a problem that I have with myself, is that I didn't switch my outfit. That was the only thing. But I did
especially because such a big deal was made of that.
Like what?
Eric sent the email and then I went through and I just explained it all out in detail. For me, it was good enough.
Yeah.
And
it's not that bad. It's not like, anything that's noticeable, because at one point I am wearing a jacket, and the next point is like, a few days later, I could like that shirt. But other than that, no, I thought it was really good, dude, to be honest. I mean, I liked the way it was edited. That was amazing. I know you said it took a lot of time.
Yeah, it was very challenging, and what's interesting for me is looking at the script, which was about I think, like 8 pages long, and then I figured on top of that there would be Maddie's musical performance, which would add a couple of minutes to the episode. And when I'm looking at the final cut of the episode, which is a little over 6 minutes, like 6.5 minutes or something, I'm like, I totally misjudged the length of this episode. I thought it would definitely be in that 10-minute range, and I remember having conversations. It's a good thing that they just upped the limit first to 15 minutes. YouTube upped the 10-minute limit to 15, and then of course I made partner, so there's time is no issue, period. But to think that was even a concern or something in my head, and then see that the episode was 6.5 minutes long, all done, I was like, wow, totally misjudged that one.
But no, yeah, I think people are gonna like it. I think people are really gonna like it because you got Eric in it, first of all.
Very true, very true.
You know, so that's thumbs up right there. And
good casting, good casting.
Just everything came together. Like that first scene, just like when you first sent that to us, that just set it off for me. I was like, I am excited, you know. So
I think having spent so much time with this first episode already, and interestingly enough, I'm totally geared up. I've got finally someone in mind for our guest for the next episode. I'm just about ready to start writing it finally, which is exciting for me because I had no interest in writing for several months, and boom, now I'm ready to write episode 2 of Tube Talking.
Awesome.
But as far as this first episode goes, and this is me being very, very critical, even though I understand why it is the way it is, I feel like it's so very light on content. You know what I'm saying? It's just very... Your feed just froze there, so you're just kind of staring at me like that.
And I'm doing this now.
No, it wasn't like that, but you were just like...
No, I know. I just...
I was just like...
No, I saw it, and then I had the fingers ready.
Yeah.
But, like, you mean like the first episode is like light on content?
Yeah, and I again, going back to why, you know, I misjudged how long it was actually going to be. So I actually have like maybe 1 or 2 story points that I wanted to have in the episode, but I didn't because of length. Yeah. So thinking back, obviously in hindsight now, I kind of wish I had written them in anyways. It would feel like a fuller experience. But on the other hand, like I said, I know why it feels that way because it's the pilot episode. It's an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
The point is just to introduce the concept, not really get too deep into much of the story. And you know, if anybody else is going to pick up on that criticism, what I will say is that there are a lot of seeds planted in that first episode, and I think the big one was the whole Eric's push for more women on the show. That's probably the biggest seed that's planted in that episode that we will be getting to later on. So yeah, as far as my criticisms of the show go, that's pretty much it. I'm definitely very thrilled with how it came out, the finished product. I think the music you created for it was very spot on. Once we gave you the right direction, pointed you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And
I got started with that music right after Act Naturally, the first set. And so, you know, I was just on a roll and like trying out new things with that vocoder and thing. It was...
Which is not to say that first version of your music wasn't good. It was just once you kind of get the idea of what we're looking for, which is what the show actually sounds like now.
Yeah.
What you did just sounds nothing like that. And it just, when you look at it, it's like, yeah, it's good, but this isn't the show. This is not Tube Talking.
Yeah. No, when I heard the temp music, like I said, I had to take a step back because I was like, oh, I've been on a whole another planet. You know, like I couldn't even like think straight as like to what to do. And so finally, you know, on Sunday I was like, okay, I'm ready to tackle this. And yeah.
Now, when I was sending you some direction and notes on the music, I did ask for a little bit of music for the interview in the opening scene, and you made the music just like I asked for. But when I was asking you for it, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to use it. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, because I'm very dodgy about putting music under dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think that if you put it where it doesn't belong, it just sounds terrible, and it's very noticeable. Yeah. So it's and the way I've written the dialogue and the way I edit the dialogue, usually it's better not to have any interference. Just let the dialogue kind of come through with it. Just because music would take away from the lyrical quality of the dialogue and that back and forth and stuff. That's kind of how I feel about it. So you put together the piece of music, which was exactly what I was asking for.
Yeah.
And so the last step of my editing process was laying out all the music and putting it all in there and finding the scene bumpers that we needed to use. And I put that little beat under the interview, and it was just like, I want this to work. I want this. It's not working.
It's not working.
Because and I wanted to, have it come on and then cut off every time, like Maddie just went off the interview. When he went off the interview, the music would just stop. And then so I did that in a couple places, and you could kind of hear what I was going for, and you could kind of like appreciate it, but like as far as the big picture goes, music doesn't belong there. So until I can figure out, or until we can figure out a better way to integrate music into that experience, it obviously it's not there. But the rest of the music punches up the show so well. You created those two versions of the main theme. Yeah. And I was able to use pieces of those. I used them in their entirety, obviously, for the opening scene at the beginning and the end of the opening scene. And then I used pieces of it as the bumpers for the scene changes. And, so we've got your score throughout the episode, and then we button the whole thing up with yours and Maddie's Act Naturally. And musically, it's a really wonderful experience, I think.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear it and see it, man. And also on the theme, I mean, like, if you need me to make any other like alternative mixes of the theme you're using, like if you just want like drums and bass, or like maybe a guitar that's already played, I could always remix it and send it to you.
Well, as far as other pieces go, warning, actual shop talk and direction here, for our viewers. Additional pieces of music that we can definitely use are probably think more of like emotions. So we've got kind of these upbeat scene transitions, and you'll see how they're executed in the final episode. But what we would want to do is probably have toned down versions to kind of be that sad version, like something unpleasant happened. So we have the bum bum bum, or I mean I don't know what it would, but a more downbeat transition into a scene. So I think that would be as far as additional pieces of music for Tube Talking, it less about different versions of music, and more different emotions.
Okay. No, I definitely can do that.
Okay. Cool. And as far as Tube Talking goes, in this first episode, I don't want to like point the spotlight on him, but I know Jimmer SD had a bit of a rough time doing, just sitting down, finding the motivation to tape that episode, and just because the part was so small,
Yeah.
and I don't know if people are going to pick up on it when they watch the episode, if they're going to point that out. Again, what I told him, what I'm telling everyone, obviously it's an ensemble piece, and he's one of the main centerpieces for the second episode. So we can't get to that second episode without that little bit of an introduction in our first episode. So I really, really hope that he'll be excited to see this finished product, and I think he did a great job in it. He gave me so much additional footage that, and as everybody did, and I think that adds an entirely new dimension to the show. I definitely see Tube Talking as like this major evolutionary step in our productions. Definitely an evolution of webcams, which was basically what it was always intended to be. Yeah. But I've never seen a show like this on YouTube.
I haven't.
So I would like to think that it is a major evolutionary step for collaborative internet shows, period. Do you have any thought on that?
I just say we take the title and run with it.
Self-proclaimed most evolutionary collaborative internet show
ever
on the web, period, ever.
Yes.
There'll be t-shirts. Speaking of t-shirts, what do you think of the new Krumbine's Brain logo?
I love it. I'm so buying one when I get some extra cash. It's straight up and down.
Basically, obviously, it's all about the money. It's all about, finding ways to encourage people to donate and support. And I figured since Krumbine's Brain has become such a centerpiece of what I'm doing, the fact that I'm doing very little to try to monetize that seemed odd. But then again, I had no graphics, no logo to actually put on anything. So I had the idea for the graphic. I put it together. I really like it. I really like it.
So you made that?
Absolutely.
That is amazing. That is cool. That is very cool. I dig it.
My trusty fireworks vector. You've seen my art all over the place. This is totally Krumbine artwork. Pretty much. It's almost the exact same brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig it. When I saw it the other day, didn't you post it up yesterday or the day before that?
Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
last night.
That is effing cool.
Yeah. So do you think we should? I think we should have Tube Talking swag, but I don't know what it would be. It's the same. It's the same thing with Krumbine's Brain. I knew I wanted something. I didn't know what it would be. I had to create some sort of visual representation. So for Tube Talking, is it just that title card, Tube Talking with Eric Morrison? Is that it? But I would want something.
There could be other things. I just don't know at the moment what they could be. We could do all sorts of things. We could have a shirt with Eric's face on it or something, or a shirt with my face or your face, anybody's face that's on the show, or all of our faces. It's just a matter of making it look really cool.
Yeah.
But that would definitely be awesome to have in the future and stuff.
Well, if any of our viewers has any, obviously, as we keep saying, you've watched the show by now. If you have any ideas as far as a logo or what our swag should look like, something that you guys would be interested in giving us money for, leave a comment. Let us know.
Yes,
Chris.
Yes.
I've talked about everything I've wanted to talk about, and we've certainly hit close to our limit here. But anything else you want to add?
Is there anything else I want to add?
Have you thought of a word for the day yet? You've had 45 minutes.
No. I have not thought of the word of the day. The word of the day will be I can't think of it. But no, I think we touched on everything, really. We definitely talked about anything that we discussed in the email, I was definitely on board for. Mm-hmm. So I think we did it. I think we hit the mark.
Very good. Very good. I don't think we I don't think I I'm including this part in the interview with Eric, which will be coming up in a minute here, but he said something during our after our conversation afterwards that kind of just been sticking with me all day, and kind of hate it when that happens because it makes me think about things, and it's like I already think about enough things, so damn it, I don't want to have to think about more things. That's not truth. I love you, Eric, for making me think about this.
We all love you, Eric.
I was sharing with him our emails about our daydreams, and basically for me, and the way I pitch it, and I don't know if you're 100% on board with this or you're still having your visions on it as well, but seeing Horborong Studios be a full-fledged production company for internet videos like this, and I shared with him that when we do have a working operating budget and we can do these things, he is on the top of our list to bring down here to collaborate with. We're in Florida, he's in Canada, so there's he would have to come down. And he asked me, getting back to the main point, he asked me when I planned to be able to do that. Thinking about that was very selfish of him, because he just wants to know, okay, when am I gonna, when's this gonna happen for me?
It's going down. It's going down next week.
And and I told him, I really don't know. He's working on the whole, put the push for partnership on YouTube, and I said, could be, whenever you get partner, who the hell knows on things like that. But he said you really should give yourself a deadline, and that's the part that stuck with me. I don't know what if I'm not even sure why it's sticking with me, but what if we say a year from now we're going to be a legitimate production company? Not that what we're doing is illegitimate right now, but what if a year from now our goal is that we will will have our facilities, we will have our equipment, we will have our staff and all the people we need in one place, and we'll be doing it in a year from now. What can we set that goal and even remotely realistically hope to aim for it?
It seems that fate is going to make us seal that date. You want to know why?
Why? I want to know, yes.
Was talking about the daydreaming with Rose yesterday when we were outside at work, and as we were walking in, I was like, don't know how much I can take of what I'm doing right now. This shit better happen within by next year. So it's gotta happen.
Okay.
I said before 2012. I said this has to happen in 2011. So 2011.
We agreed on it without even talking about it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you were saying that, I was like, "That no freaking way." That's the same thing I was saying yesterday.
Okay, and just to share this with you, and the result of that thought process of having that in my head, I was thinking, everything, for the most part, every success we've had so far has been through the collaborative process.
Yeah.
What if this production company is more? What if this production company is collaborative in nature? And obviously it would be inherently, but even in a business sense, we have 4 or 5 partners basically running the show in this production company. And then I don't know. I don't even know if there's much legitimacy to this concept, or if we would do if there's a natural way to do it differently. But it was just something that came into my head that's percolating.
I think that could definitely work as well as being a. It's in our nature and what we've done so far to be collaborative.
Right.
It seems to be the thing that works very well for us. So I wouldn't see why we wouldn't. go in that direction, you know, because I mean I kind of see us doing it all, you know. That's my honest opinion. I see us doing it all because like we've got so many departments that we, you know, do stuff under. We have, right. You know, we a lot of us write, you know, we all act, you know, I do music, other people do videos, so there's I don't know, I'm searching for words on it here.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
You know, I think it's totally gonna work out, you know, when, I'm not gonna say if, when we do.
Alrighty. Sounds good. Alrighty, Chris, thank you for joining me for the first half of this episode. When you watch this, I hope you enjoyed the second half of the episode with Eric.
Oh, yes.
It was a pleasure talking to you. It's a pleasure talking to Eric. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, brother.
Alrighty.
Easy.
Hi, Eric. How are you doing?
Hey, Jordan, I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. This is a little bit early for me. I got up about just about an hour ago, so I don't really like doing things this early in the morning or afternoon, as the case may be. It's about 1:15 right now. But other than that, not too bad, not too bad. I can't help but notice that there's just a little something off about your face there. What's going on with
Really?
that?
I haven't noticed at all. I don't know what's wrong with it. I got something on my nose.
You know, I'm watching the doing that X-Files Monster Marathon, and they did an episode where they were at a military hospital or something, and that the burn victim was wearing a mask like that. So that's what I'm thinking of, and yet your face is so pretty. It's not scarred with horrible burns or anything like that.
No, I'm fine. I just I've always loved those masks, and I was shopping for some props just yesterday, and I saw one of them, and I said, I gotta buy it. It was only like $3, you know. So what the hell?
Just to try to freak me out. Did you buy it for me?
Sorry?
Did you buy it for me?
No,
just to try to
for me, man.
Just to try to freak me out.
No, I bought it for me, man. Just to, you know, have fun.
Just have fun.
I wear it shopping. I wear grocery shopping, and you know, regular stuff.
Well, now my feelings are a little hurt. I kind of thought I was putting that into a whole box, and I figured you bought it for this interview and just wanted to
episode. Okay, all right, I bought it for you, man.
Thank you. I'm flattered.
You're welcome. All right, cool.
I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm doing this for you.
No way, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I invited you on to do this show because I wanted you, and I wanted to do this for you. The other thing that I have done for you is Tube Talking. Admittedly, though, if you didn't want to do it, I would have found someone else to do it.
I can't wait to see it. That's right. No.
Okay, so there's a little bit of a lag in our conversation for our viewers.
Yeah, I noticed.
So we'll just for our viewers, bear with us on that front, and we'll try to pace ourselves back with the back and forth, and hopefully it won't be that painful. Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. Did you watch the first episode of the Vlogalog?
Yes, I watched the entire episode.
You're among the 5 people that watched the entire thing. It's got like 200 views on it, but I think really only about 5 people have watched the whole thing. That's YouTube for you.
No way, man. A lot of people watched it, I'm certain. And it was interesting. It was cool.
Yeah,
learned a lot about Chris, about yourself. Like I said in the comment I left below, when I watch long videos, I usually try and comment as I go along. I pause and I comment, and then this time around I didn't. I just watched the whole thing, like almost the whole thing from one end to the other. Yeah. And it's just really cool.
Yeah, and YouTube has actually made it more difficult for you to comment throughout the video, because you have to. I'm assuming maybe it's just on my end or the U.S. version of of YouTube, but you have to you can only post one comment, and then you have to reload the page in order to post another comment. No?
I've never had that problem before.
Really? Maybe. Well, I mean, again, you are Canadian, French Canadian.
Yes,
which I'm going to get to. Which I'm going to get
Okay.
to a little bit more later. But you're like extra special, so maybe YouTube appreciates your French Canadian comments more than the American comments.
Maybe so, man. I mean, who doesn't love Canadians and French Canadians? I mean, you don't have a choice. We're so damn nice.
Well, you know what? Based on since you're the only French Canadian I know, then yeah, I have to agree with you. I have no choice but to agree with you. But let me get right into this, Eric.
Right.
Obviously we've spoken very, very highly of you. We love you, and I don't say that lightly. You are a brilliant, brilliant performer. It's taken you literally forever to get on board the Horberong train and get in on some of our productions. But as far as I'm concerned, it was well worth the wait. So that's a little bit of my opinion to introduce our viewers to you, like they even need an introduction because they've seen you and they know who you are and they've seen your videos. But I think really what I want to start off with is, obviously the point of the show is to talk about creative people doing creative things. How did this all kind of come about for you? Where was the genesis, and how did you come about to focus in on video and acting and ultimately YouTube?
First of all, thanks a lot. As I said before, I'm not too good with compliments and stuff, but thank you very much. And like I said, I'm not good with this kind of stuff. All right. So next, I started. I worked in a factory for about 10 years, and I just left that job recently. But I was working night shift, and I went for a beer in the morning at one of my buddy's places, and he says, "Hey, have you seen this stuff on YouTube yet?" And he starts showing me, all these the ghost videos or the maze videos and stuff like that. And I just figured, what the hell, man? This is like a lot of what I was seeing was not really that good. And I said, I mean, I can do something pretty good, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it still isn't very good.
Sorry?
Yeah, and most of the stuff still isn't very good.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, and what's the saddest part is that that's usually what gets viewed the most, but hey, what do you want? Anyways, I had a camera, my first camera, a Fujifilm S5000 DSLR type of camera that also films a video 640 by, I think it was 380 or something. Mm-hmm. And I just started making my own little videos at home, on my days off and stuff, and I was having a hell of a good time doing it. And I've always loved movies. I've always been into it ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I was making movies with my father, my grandfather, and all kinds of. I've been into video as long as I can remember. So that was basically how it began.
Yeah, so one of the interesting things here is, in my opinion, about your videos and seeing you in our productions is just how great an actor you are. And, I don't want to diminish anybody else's performance, but when they're performing alongside you, it kind of just, that comparison has to be made. Have you had training? Where does that come from? Because you really are, in my opinion, probably the best actor on YouTube, at least within our creative community that I'm aware of.
Well, thanks a lot. Training, I've had some training. I've always hammed it up in front of camera ever since I was a kid, like I was saying. But I've had some training. I had theater in high school, and when I went to college, I took about a year of theater in college, and that's the extent of my training. But I've done community theater. I've done quite a bit of things involving movies and similar. I've also been an extra in a couple of films that were filmed in Montreal way back when I was a teenager, a little younger. The Jackal with Richard Gere and Bruce Willis. What was the other one? Snake Eyes was filmed at the old Forum in Montreal. You don't really see me in any of the scenes, but I was in them.
I know the story. I did analyze that Random Hearts with Harrison Ford. My big story about that one. This was years ago for me when I was much younger. That was with Random Hearts. That was my big story. We were shooting at the Miami International Airport, and Harrison Ford asked me to, or like walked by me, or I moved out of the way for Harrison Ford. And that was my big story. But yeah, it was, you know, those extra scenes. The other one was Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino and the thing about working as extras, you get to, it's kind of just an observation thing, because most of the time you're filling seats in a stadium, which is or just these massive crowd shots, you know. It's just, you're not doing any acting, you just get to observe and hope to see something interesting.
You're kind of sounding like Max Headroom every once in a while.
Yeah, I think
I'm making it out. I'm making most of it out, but it's difficult. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you get to see how it's done, the whole process, and it's awesome. I mean, I've loved it, and it's great work when you're a kid. I mean, you get paid like from anywhere from $12 to $20 an hour, and you know, free lunch, and you get to meet. Well, you don't really get to meet them, but you get to see big stars, and you realize, you know, they're just like me. They're like everybody else. But you still can't help but being awestruck in front of that big star. So
yeah, you know, another thing, in my opinion, that kind of makes you this such a great actor, and I'll have to attribute this to a conversation I was having earlier this week about my own editing, and I just realized that the same thing applies. You're fearless. And you kind of said that earlier. You're fearless. You know, you're not afraid to embarrass yourself. You're willing to go that extra mile, and the result of that, especially you know, and I always tell people, give me multiple takes, and you know how to take advantage of that. So you're gonna keep pushing at each and every take, and you know, that first take might be it, but you might have pushed it so far that the third take is just sheer genius, which happens a lot with you.
Yeah, usually as I go along, it'll get better. I usually it's the way it usually takes place with all my short films and stuff. A lot of it was unscripted. I mean, I would work night shift at work, and that's how I would survive my job. I would be in my head. I would be doing the manual labor, you know, physically all night long, 8 hours, but most of that time I was in my head writing scripts for whatever I was going to do. So I never really, you know, most of the time I didn't have to write it down on paper because I had most of it in my head. And albeit, you know, I never have really complicated scripts, but still, that was my process, and that's what helped me survive my job for 10 years, my mind-numbing job, soul-killing. And I'm free of it now. I'm free of it, so
I'm really happy for you, and definitely congratulations. Yeah, another thing that we both share in common, and it's what Maddie calls the black hole of Jewishness or something. We'll hit a point, and I think it's easy to do that on YouTube. We hit a point where we do put so much work into what we do, and the return is so minimal sometimes that we just burn out completely. Do you want to tell anybody about how that happened for you?
Can you repeat the question? I lost it a little bit there. Got all cut up and
got a horrible. Are you on wireless? Or are you?
I've got a bad connection. My connection's not that great, but go ahead. Go slowly.
Okay.
Really slowly.
We should have YouTube's auto captioning working for us right now. But that wouldn't help either.
Probably not. No, come off as sounding Australian or not Austrian or something.
Or just speaking complete gibberish. I will try to slow down a little bit. What I was saying was we something we both share is we burn out, and because we put so much work into what we do, and it's especially true on YouTube because we put so much work into it, and oftentimes the payback, the return on that work is kind of minimal. So
Yeah.
I've been there. I know you've been there. Do you want to share about that at all? And kind of how you went through it, and then how you ultimately got through it?
I gotta tell you, every single comment I get, you know, it makes it all worth it. It's one. Those are one of the big paybacks, I guess you could say. Sometimes I have a hard time expressing myself because I am bilingual, and this is live. It's not scripted, so I might be looking for words once in a while. But no, I know what you're talking about. God, I put so many. I cannot count the hours I put into any number of movies I made. I think the longest one was a stop motion animation with a little wooden fella there. I mean, I don't count anymore. I've gotten a lot better at editing, and it takes a lot less time. And like I say, you know, the comments make it worth it all. And every time I see a new subscriber comment, I mean, it's just like, yeah, all right, I got another one, you know, because I'm pretty sure he'll be commenting in the next one or the one after, and that makes it all worth it. What I really love is to actually get to see people's reactions as they're watching it. That's what kills me. Like, I can't get to see that, you know. But when I have a family member or a friend watching beside me as I show it to them, you know, I'm not even watching it anymore because I've seen it like 1,000 times by the time they're watching it. So I just look at their face. And I try not to make a sound and just watch her face and get the reactions. And it's not easy on YouTube, you know. Like you say, we put so much work into it, and like the payoff isn't that big. But I'm always looking forward to, you know, for me the biggest payoff would be partnership, and then the exposure and visibility comes with it. And I'm working at that right now. Once I'm done with these video contests, I'm probably gonna pull them out because they have copyright material on it. The rules of the contest weren't very clear on the site, the radio station that was holding the contest. So I figured it was okay to put music because, you know, I mean, they have rights to everything. But unfortunately, I think I'm gonna pull them out because I don't want any problems with YouTube. And after that, I'm gonna go at it. I'm gonna try for partnership until I get it.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So that will be the biggest payoff for me.
Just a hint, a tip about that copyrighted stuff.
Yeah.
Based on my experience and what I've seen, first of all, YouTube. As far as partnership goes, YouTube only really cares about the copyright stuff if you're monetizing a video, because if you're monetizing a video that you don't own all the copyrights to, that makes them liable. So
yeah,
you can so in other words, if these videos of yours have copyright material in them that never hit any of YouTube's filters, you know, the content ID filters.
yeah.
So and if they do, you'll have a notice. It'll say you've got copyright material. It might put up the little iTunes link for music. You know, that's where those things come from.
Yeah.
Or it'll end up automatically monetizing your video. Or the copyright holder says, no, this person's not allowed to use this material.
Yeah.
So
I've had that happen.
Right. So as long as your videos don't hit those, that means YouTube has no idea if you have copyright material in them or not, unless you submit it for monetization. So what I'm saying here is, especially with your contest videos, because they're great videos, first of all, and you've got such a high level of exposure on them, I wouldn't take them off unless there's specific copyright claims against them. Don't monetize them. Don't monetize them.
I'd like to monetize.
I know.
Monetize them.
I know.
Okay, come on, we'll monetize them. It sucks because they're both up for partnership. I received letters for both of them.
Right.
So it really kind of blows taking money off, you know. But, you know, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably leave them on and then we'll just forget about the partnership.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it plays out. I want to go ahead and just hit the main points real fast, and then maybe we'll put an extended version of the interview up or something. I don't know, because I'm kind of have a 30-minute time frame that I'd like to play in. So if you have like one video that you think people must see on your channel, what would that be?
A Death at Widow Creek has got to be one of my favorites. And as close runner-up would be Fever, because I really enjoy Fever, especially with the soundtrack that Chris, the musical brain, LeBrane, wrote for me. I mean, it was just awesome. You know, I couldn't get enough of it.
Good. Those are, and they're two excellent videos. For people who, I mean, I've seen them both, but for people, obviously, most people probably haven't seen it who are watching this. Death at Widow Creek probably would be my favorite. Just give us the log line for that one, and then maybe later you could post that as a video response here, and I'll have a link to it in the description as well.
So you want a quick,
just a quick
resume of the story? Is that it?
Just a quick description of what the video is and why people should watch that. What.
All right, it's Death at Widow Creek is a comedy slash drama slash action short movie from the Raging Beaver Company. Starring Mark Clement and Eric Morrison, myself. Mark Clement plays Bernard and a lot of my other stuff. He plays the RBC's butler, and in this movie he's playing a fisherman who just happens to run into an enforcer of the I can't remember what the name for it is anymore. Do you remember what?
I don't.
What do you call it? One of those guys that I'm gonna say, wildlife agent.
Yeah.
So that's it. He's Mark Clement plays a fisherman who runs into this wildlife agent, and then all hell breaks loose. So watch it. It's good. I like it. It's funny. It's dramatic. It's bloody as all hell.
It is. It's very graphic.
It's exactly Raging Beaver Company, at its best.
Okay, and I mentioned it earlier. We touched on it earlier. You're located in Canada. You are French Canadian. In your experience, how has this French Canadianness held you back, and how have you been able to overcome that as a filmmaker?
To tell you the truth, I don't feel like it's ever held me back. If anything, it's my English Canadian side that's kind of holding me back, because it's prevented me from making a lot more French movies. I should have made a lot more French movies for my colleagues at work, and everybody was asking me, oh, come on, make some French movies, a thing. And the YouTube is worldwide, and English is a much better known language around the world than French is, I would say. So that's why I've always kept most of my stuff in English. But at some point, with all everybody at work asking me to make French films, I began putting subtitles to make it easier for them to understand. And every once in a while, I'll actually make a completely bilingual sketch. And I've got a subtitle sketch coming up, a slightly bilingual subtitle sketch coming up. It's gonna be my epic interactive sketch, and I can't wait to shoot it. The only thing is I'm out of a cameraman. I need a cameraman for tomorrow or Thursday, and time is running out. That's the hardest thing, Jordan. I don't know about you, because I mean you do all this webcam stuff, and I think it's easier to get people on their webcams and from all around the world to send you stuff than it is to actually get real people involved. I have such a hard time trying to get people involved in it. And I'm really glad I have the great friends and great family who, Mark Clement, I mean, he's helped me out the most, I think, with all my films. I mean, he's the guy's a genius. I mean, he's taken a stepladder and a pole, and he's friggin' made a crane, and he's made crane cameras, he's made a camera crane, he's made all kinds of gadgets for me for my shoots, and he's been really cool about it, and he's always willing to get in front of the camera as well. And all my family, they've been in the, I've had a family member in a lot of sketches as well. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. I think I'm just rambling. So help me out here, please.
No, you're absolutely right,
nervous.
and it sounds, your rambling sounds great.
Good.
What I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, the reason I do the webcam stuff and everything over the internet because I can't find people locally. You know, Sex Kittens was my was when I got frustrated with the lack of participation, lack of punctuality over the internet. And, you know, you saw what Sex Kittens was. It was, you know, wrangling people who live in my house. And, you know, it's a very, very small world. And even those people aren't always dependable to build shows around. So that's why I do the things over the internet.
Yeah, I've been very lucky, like I said today. I mean, my family has always been there, ready to help as soon as I need someone. But now this next project, the epic interactive sketch, is kind of a big project. So I'm having a hard time gathering all the people I need. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it done.
Yeah, one of the hard things is, you know, we kind of instinctively think, you know, we instinctively go bigger and better in our productions, and that's how we think. But
that's what I want. I want it to get big.
I know, but the problem is the more complex we manufacture our productions, the more difficult they become to produce, and that takes a hit in our productivity. So I think part of it, when I'm wearing my producer hat, is managing those levels and trying to find, you know, a more happy medium. I tell this to everybody: don't overextend yourself. I mean, it's good to want more and to plan for more. I mean, I think webcams to Tube Talking is my example of that. But, you know, ideally, for example, Tube Talking would be shot all in a studio with everyone side by side, and I can direct people as they're performing. I can't, you know, that would be the overreaching, impossible to produce version of the show right now. So
an easier version of that would be just to have everybody buy a green piece of fabric and a couple of lights, you know, and we can all, you just chroma key all of us together as you want, and with a talk show background or something. That would be awesome. I mean,
see,
really cool.
I see where you're going with that, but when I say have everybody in a studio together, I want to maintain in the episode that they're all separate, but I would just want all the performers locally so I can direct them. The green screen thing is, you know, it is such a great tool, but it's so hard to execute perfectly, you know, and if it's not perfect, it looks bad. And you know, I don't know if you saw Berto's challenge film, if you saw that whole drama unfold, but in my opinion, I don't think anybody should not do it, but I think if you can't do it right, wait until you can. And just because of the cross section of talent we have working on Tube Talking, you know, all over the place and of different levels of capabilities, there's no way we'd be able to nail it across the board. So
no, too many people involved, and not everybody has the same experience. And no, I understand what you're saying. But to get back to that whole bigger, you know, thing, it's all I've been dreaming about is to make my productions bigger and bigger. I just feel so held down, you know, like, and not just that. I feel like people have seen my face enough over the past 3 years, and that's why I've got Steph Powers involved, and you know, I'm trying to get as many new people involved, and it just raises the level of difficulty, but I've never done anything easy either, so I guess this is my next step. You know, I just gotta keep going, and eventually something good will happen for me.
No,
anyway.
I hear you. Let's wrap this up with I want to ask you about your future plans, and maybe we can just talk about your epic sketch project, and then we'll just kind of like cut it there, and then we'll keep talking, and then, because there's a couple other things I'd like to ask you about, and we'll have like the extended interview somewhere else or something. I don't know. So as far as your future plans go, and your epic sketch project, you know, where you said you wanted to make partnership, but like, you know, expand on that, and like, where do you see yourself going with all of this, and what do you hope to accomplish?
Geez. Well, you know, I mean, like anyone, I
cut straight to the heart of it, you know.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could be living off this. You know, this is what I love doing, and I'd love to be able to live off it. That's pretty much it. Well, you know, I mean, eventually, you know, I'd like to get better equipment and have my own studio, little recording studio, and but those are, you know, bigger plans and farther away. But but to the heart of it, basically, I want a partnership, and I want to live off this forever.
Let me ask you a question. Would you be willing, if the opportunity came up, would you be willing to accept a job and relocate to work at a studio doing this sort of stuff?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're like at the top of my list when Horror Studios has like a serious budget for that sort of thing.
Relocate to somewhere where it's warm all year round? Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much. As soon as I can, I want to extend that offer to you. You are at the very top of my list as far as talent goes.
All right, cool.
So it's gonna happen.
Well, you know, I was just.
So it's gonna happen then.
What's that?
So it's gonna happen then.
It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Will happen.
Alrighty.
Well, I've seen you become partner. So I believe you in saying that, you know, you'll eventually have your own studio. I'm
glad someone believes in me. Eric Morrison.
Man. I mean, why not? You're a partner. You worked hard as hell. You got it, and now next, man, Horror Studio is the real thing.
Damn straight. Eric Morrison, the Raging Beaver Company on YouTube. Yep. We'll have links in the description, and these videos take a very long time to load for annotations, so maybe I'll get the annotations up, maybe I won't, I don't know. Thank you very, very much for doing this interview. I'm going to go ahead and, this is where I'll cut it, and I want to just keep talking. I just want to keep talking about Tube Talking, because, and maybe we can squeeze this into the actual episode or not, but by the time this video airs, quiet little product place. Subtle. Very subtle. I approve.
Can we?
Yeah.
Can we do that now on you know, partnership?
I have to disclose if there's paid product advertising. That's what I have to do.
Right.
So unless Pepsi paid you to do that, we're good. We're fine. No problems.
Nobody pays me. Nobody.
I know, right?
Okay.
Okay. So by the time this video is going to go up, Tube Talking will have already aired, and everybody will have seen it and know what it's about. You've seen the opening scene, the first scene, and you've seen the teaser that I posted. There's another teaser that actually did you see the second teaser that went up today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna light one. Just give me a second. I don't want to do it during the interview because I don't want my mother to see me smoking. I just started smoking recently.
Oh, because it's featured in Tube Talking. And you don't think it's featured in Tube Talking? You don't think she's gonna see that?
No, I didn't light it.
You still had the cigarette and you lit the
just a prop.
match. Just a prop. That's how you explain it away. Okay.
It's just a prop, man.
So you're gonna ask me not to actually use this at all?
Well, not while I'm smoking. Ah, jeez, yeah. All right. I'll wait then.
I can. You know what? I can cut it. I think it would be. I'd like to talk about Tube Talking. That's the thing, and and get your opinion on, because we haven't had this opportunity to talk one-on-one about the show.
Yeah.
Which is a little ironic considering I wrote the show for you, and you're carrying the show, and we haven't
we're all carrying the show, man. I'm not carrying it alone.
Yeah, it is a ensemble, very much so. But based on what you've seen so far, and you obviously read the script, you performed it all. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah. I love it. Well, I can't wait to see how you put it together differently from webcams. And I still think I should have redone my part. That freaking green wall looks not not good. But I've got a backdrop. Sorry, I've got a backdrop for the next show, which will look like basically it'll look like curtains or theater curtains or something like that. So that'll look a lot better. No, I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see how it comes out, and I can't wait to see Matt's performance as well.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. Especially the obviously, like I've said before, especially the end song, the actual produced version of his Act Naturally song. It all came out really good. I really see Tube Talking as a very big evolutionary step in our videos and in webcams, and I'd like to think that it's a step forward for internet shows. I don't know, maybe I'm hoping for too much there. What do you think?
I don't think so, man. I think you're right. Well, because it's fictitious, you know, it's not an actual show. I don't know. I don't see why we're not making it an actual show. That's my question.
Because this is the actual show. All right, Eric. Thank you very much for humoring me for that
were you
last
still
bit.
Recording this, man?
Huh? Yes, I was.
Were you recording?
Yes.
Damn it.
No, but I'm gonna stop now. So we're done.
When it's horrible, bad and wrong. When it's horrible, bad and wrong. When it's horrible, bad and wrong.